Yo, what's going on, man? Today is December the 20th, 2022. It's another episode of Cashed It. This is not Cashed It with Chris. The ChrisBeCappinn NBA show. Do two shows a day. Sometimes you forget the name of them, man. Forget the name of which one you doing. So this is the evening show, ChrisBeCappinn NBA show. The show that we typically have a few more lines for. The morning show, not as much, man. I try to get the early lines out, but we don't know as much in the morning time. So the evening show, we typically have a little more information. So a lot of injury news going on, even only with the 5-game slate. If you guys are in here, hit the like button for me if you can. Subscribe to the shows, retweet, all that good stuff. And let's get into the actual games for today. 5-game card, a lot more appealing card tomorrow. Already kind of looked ahead to tomorrow. Done some quick capping for tomorrow as well. But let's get into the games that we got today and see if we can find some value. First game up, the Utah Jazz, the struggling Utah Jazz, on the road, yet again, third road game in a row against the Detroit Pistons. And let me just make sure we got the most. So what you see on the spread this morning when I did the show, I didn't update any of the banners. The spread was 3.5 in favor of the Pistons. I'm sorry, in favor of the Jazz. It's come down to 2.5. So Detroit has gotten some money on Detroit. Some money's come in on Detroit. The total in this one is dropping from 233 down to 229.5. I see a 228.5 as well. I don't necessarily agree with that movement. We know that Utah can score. However, they haven't the last couple games. And I think you kind of chuck those games up to, them going on the road against really good defensive teams, especially after an emotional back-to-back, like little mini series against the New Orleans Pelicans before they went out on this road trip. So it doesn't surprise me that, in retrospect, the Bucks, kind of smacked them up in that game because the Bucks were coming off the loss against Memphis Grizzlies in a game where they were down by 50. And then on the, you go to Cleveland. Cleveland has the best defensive rating, especially at home, over the course of the season. So it really doesn't surprise me. Donovan Mitchell revenge game, all those different narratives in that spot as well. So I think it's a game where Utah scores in this one, though. I think Utah offense gets right, which is why I don't agree with the total dropping down from 233.5 all the way down to 228.5. I know that the Detroit Pistons do play tomorrow in Philly, but I think Utah can score points in this one. I also look for Detroit to score points in this one as well. Never really looking to back Utah on the road as a favorite. They are 0-2 in that spot, but I'm not looking to take Detroit on a short spread because they're probably looking to fade, to kind of take this game and throw this one away as well. So, couple things that I've kind of found, and I'm not going to touch on this game for too much. Just kind of want to share notes. One thing that I found was looking at away favorites on that third game in 4 nights, dating back to 2017. So away favorites on the third game in 4 nights, dating back to 2017. Those teams coming off a back-to-back in that spot after losing their last 2 games, but being a favorite in their next game. They do have a pretty good win percentage, especially if those games are a small spread, less than 4. So I like that spot for the Jazz. Shout out to my guy Greg. I see him in the chat. He shared something with me earlier that backs the Jazz in this spot as well. And there was teams coming off. I forgot exactly what the creed was, but I know it was teams coming off back-to-back 20-point losses, and then they're away favorite in the next game. I think it was 8-2 is what the trend was. So I just feel like this is a winnable game for the Jazz, even though they haven't won their recent 2. They've gotten smacked up in that spot. Pistons do play tough at home. They typically cover spreads, coming off a cover against the Brooklyn Nets the other day. But it seems like a winnable game for the Jazz. One thing I'm also leaning towards, haven't put this play in yet either, is Mike Conley assists. I think the line is 7.5. It was 7.5 the last time I looked. And when I capped it this morning, it was minus 120, which I agree with. It being, I felt like it should be some juice on it. When I looked again this afternoon, the player prop it actually went up, which I don't understand, to plus 118. Not 100% sure why. I know Kelly Olynyk got ruled out, but I don't see him impacting Mike Conley's assists in this one. So You look at Conley, he's coming off. This is a third game in 4 nights, which is one of the reasons why I don't like the spot as much, and I haven't placed it yet. But Conley's coming off only playing 28 minutes last night, so they saved his legs just a tad bit. You also don't have Colin Sexton in this game, so he'll have primary ball handling responsibility and playmaking responsibility. Conley had 9 assists last night against a much better Cleveland defense. Tonight he gets an even better matchup against the Pistons, who are allowing the 5th most assists to point guards this season. And over the last 7 games, the number has increased. They're also allowing the 5th most assists to point guards over the last 5 games as well. I'm sorry, over the last 7 games, they're allowing 1 more assist. So they typically average about 9.2. But last 7 games, they're allowing 10.3. So really like Mike Conley assists tonight. Jazz, like I said, 2 bad offensive games in a row where they, against 2 elite defenses. The Bucks and the Cavs defense are pretty elite. They score less than 100 points in both of those games. To me, this kind of feels like a bounce back versus a team that allows the 2nd most points at home. The Pistons allow 118.9 points at home. And, it's 2nd worst to only the San Antonio Spurs. Earlier this season as well, when these 2 teams met in Utah, Mike Conley didn't play in that game, but Colin Sexton did, and he had 12 assists in that game. The Pistons also have given up 11 assists to Ja Morant, 11 to LaMelo Ball. They've also given up 10 assists to Garland, K-Love, Marcus Smart, and Luka. So I like Mike Conley to go over 7.5 assists. Also, I talk about this a lot, at least recently. If you guys are doing, one of those $10 to $10K challenges or $50 to $50K challenge, whatever, kind of challenge you are, I do think that, taking an assist or an assist, 2 assists off maybe, and putting Mike Conley at 6 assists is a really great leg for, a little two-leg parlay to get to, plus money, even money. So that's what I got for you guys there. Also, couldn't talk anybody off Durham rebounds. Dude has been absolutely killing the rebounds. I think he's averaging 13.8 is what I looked at earlier. I didn't write the number down. I think he's averaging 13.8 rebounds over his last 5 games. You get the Jazz coming in here on the 3rd game in 4 nights. Should be a motivation spot, but they may get tired. Durham has been boosted into the starting lineup and taking some of those minutes away from guys like Marvin Bagley III. Getting some of Isaiah Stewart's minutes as well. So couldn't talk anybody off Durham rebounds. He's sitting at 10.5 right now, but he's gone over that number. So it's not that scary to take him over 10.5. Couldn't talk anybody off Durham. And then the total. I really like the over in this game. Didn't play it yet, but the Jazz, the Pistons are giving up, like I said, 118 points at home, and the Jazz team total is below that at 115.5. So I really like that team total over. Really like Mike Conley over 7.5 assists. Like Durham over the 10.5 rebounds. And if I had to pick a side, I'd take the Jazz. And I probably just play them on the money line. I know that the spread came down to 2. It's all the way back up to 2.5 now. I'll probably take the Jazz on the money line just to kind of avoid the spread. Maybe I buy a point and take them at 1.5, so it's not too juice. But I look for the Jazz to win the game. I do think it may come down to the last possession. It's one of those type of games that's indicated by the spread, but I think the Jazz are the better team, and I think they win the game today. So that's what I got for you guys there. This Warriors and the Knicks game, I don't have much on this game. The Knicks have been on fire lately. Been talking about them. Talking about them specifically first quarter, first half, but they've been, flat out winning games. They're doing it with their defense. The day the Golden State Warriors come in, it's shorthanded again. Of course, Steph's out for about a month. Dante DiVincenzo, who a lot of people may not even know of, but dude's a baller, and he's been, primarily picking up some of those minutes from Steph. He's out today. You also got JaMychal Green out today. The Warriors on the first end of a back-to-back. They go to Brooklyn tomorrow. The Knicks, 4.5-point home favorites off of a 3-game road winning streak. They also have been covering and winning the games at home as well. You see this total drop, tremendously, and I think a large part of that is due to the Knicks defense. I think they are the number 1 rated defensive team over the last 2 weeks. Total in this one dropped from 225 down to 221, some 221.5 out there as well. And the spread has gone up from the 4.5. It touched 6 earlier. Now it's back down to 5.5. So Knicks coming home, asking them to win the game by 2 possessions. 2 possessions with just 6 points, almost 3 possessions. Seems like a tall task at hand, but This game really, to me, just kind of depends on what Mr. Splash Brother that's not named Steph Curry can do in this one. I think it's really all kind of dependent upon Jordan Poole. If Jordan Poole plays well, if he's scoring and dishing, this team can do well. But the Knicks have kind of figured out a rotation, and it's a defensive rotation, of course. Getting Brent Grimes in there. We know RJ Barrett is a pretty good wing defender as well. So I'd be looking. I guess if I had to pick a side in this one, I think the Knicks probably win and cover the spread, but I'm not putting my money on the Knicks, especially at home. The Knicks have been a wagon at the crib, specifically in the first half. I think I was looking at those numbers earlier, and the Knicks are 5-0 ATS first half at home their last 5. Overall, they are 11-3 first half ATS at home as well, which is the best in the league, tied with the Memphis Grizzlies, which should tell you a lot because we know we've been taking Memphis a lot first quarter, first half. But looking at the Golden State Warriors, the Warriors have kind of figured it out recently on the road. You look at the last 5, this team is 3-2. So they, typically get smacked up in the first half, then they come back with something towards, in the second half, but they played a lot better recently. Like I said, smacked Toronto up, and they were catching 6 points in that game as well. Jimmy Butler now downgraded to doubtful with an illness, and I think that's a perfect segue. So before I leave this game, I think it's important to mention that Jordan Poole has to be in play, right? Like without him, this offense goes nowhere. They're without Steph. They still have Clay, but we know Clay doesn't always create his own shot. A lot of ball movement, a lot of screens being set, a lot of pick and pops. So, Jordan, if you think that the Warriors are going to cover the spread, you have to take Jordan Poole in some capacity. I think his line's 25.5, 26.5. And then I also feel like his assists probably in play as well because, and maybe it's a points and assist line together. But keep in mind that, these two teams do play again tomorrow. So one of the reasons why I kind of stayed off this game, if Draymond really wants to lock up Julius Randle, I feel like he can make it really difficult for him. So I'll probably be pivoting off of Randle and probably look at one of these guards like Jalen Brunson to be able to go over his points prop. That could be a play where, you kind of take Jalen Brunson points. Maybe you play those down to about 20 and you put that with Mike Conley assists. Like I said, maybe at 6, right? Just to kind of get like I said, close to plus money if you're doing one of those challenges. That's what I got for you guys there. Bulls in the Heat, not a game that I was really interested in at all. I'm not backing the Bulls, feels like probably ever. There was a report that came out earlier from Bleacher Report talking about the uncohesiveness of this unit. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I wanted to share that. Let's see. Post it at the top in the chat if you guys are on YouTube. I'm sorry, if you guys are on Twitter. Zach LaVine and the Bulls not seeing eye to eye per Shams. Plausible feeling through the franchise of a disconnect between the Bulls and him. So to me, that lets me lets me know what I need to know about the Bulls. Not looking to back the Bulls, even though I don't want to lay 5 at the crib with the Heat. I think the line is still at 5. Total at 224. Let's see. It's come down now. It's come all the way down, which makes sense with the Jimmy Butler news. It's coming all the way down to 2 at some places. Circa even got a 1.5. So Bulls probably the right side, but I'm not playing it. Tyler Hero props is something that I absolutely would play. I watched that game the other day where they gave up 150 points to the Minnesota Timberwolves. D'Angelo Russell hit 7 threes, and Anthony Edwards had 37, 38, 11, and 7 or something like that. So, I'm absolutely targeting Tyler Hero in this spot, and I need to make sure I write that down because it looks like Jimmy Butler probably won't play in this one. If he doesn't play, I'm looking at Tyler Hero. I'm probably playing his PRA just to give you guys a heads up. Between his points, rebounds, and assists, I'm probably just going to play the whole PRA. It's been successful for me, not trying to figure out which one he's going to be. So I'll probably play his PRA. Probably want to put that in now too, if you can, just because the number's probably going to shoot up without without Jimmy Butler. I'm just about to see if it's actually available or not. Nope, books locked it up, even with the questionable news. If you can get Tyler Hero PRA, I'll probably play it over right now in your book. I need to check a few more of mine. So that's all I got in that game. I think, DeRozan points probably in play as well. Didn't play him. Next, we got the Wizards and the Suns. Spread this one open at 7.5. It's come down to 7, 6.5 some places. Wizards are due for a win, but I'm not backing them. I think this is the 4th straight road game. They still got 3 more road games left. It's a 7-game West Coast road trip for them. Brutal spot. I know Porzingis didn't go through shoot around, so not sure if he's going to play. We also got some injury news on the Suns side with Devin Booker being ruled out. Landell's also ruled out, and somebody else was ruled out. I can't remember exactly who it was off the top of my head, but we got some injuries for the Suns as well. They do have CP3. I think Aiden is probably going to play as well. Suns just aren't – they play a lot better at home without Devin Booker, but they haven't done well without Devin Booker this year. To me, it kind of feels like the Wizards could keep this one close. I'm not playing the game, which is why I'm really just – I think I want to wait. What I'm going to do in this game is I'm going to wait until we get the official injury news on who's in and who's out, and I'm probably going to look towards player props based on availability. And honestly, I just want to kind of keep it at that. I don't want to talk too much about that game. Last game up, and my look that I do really, really like today is the Memphis Grizzlies and the Denver Nuggets. So Grizzlies actually open at 2-point dogs in this one. And then the line quickly flipped. When I woke up this morning, they were 1.5-point favorites, which is something that I agree with. This game is being played in Denver. We know that the Grizzlies typically play a lot better at home than they do on the road. The news came in about Jamal Murray, I think, being in. He did go through shoot around and talk to the media today, so I think he is going to play. Michael Porter Jr. was upgraded from out to doubtful. I don't think he's going to play. They say he was limited in what he could do at shoot around earlier today. When I was listening to the Denver Nuggets spaces earlier. You also got Jeff Green listed as questionable. And KCP is also listed as questionable. He had he banged knees and got a bruised knee, I think. So he's definitely going to be needed in this one to slow down John Moran if they're going to have a chance at all. Denver, you look at this team, they're coming up 1 day's rest, but they really haven't covered. They haven't covered a lot of spreads at all. They didn't cover the game against the Hornets on Sunday. Memphis on the other side, coming in off the big loss in their first road game after having 5 straight home games against the Oklahoma City Thunder on Saturday. The Grizzlies are only 3-11 against the spread on the road this season, but they are 8-2 straight up in their last 10, 7-2-1 ATS in their last 10. Denver, strong team at home, 9-3, but just 6-6 against the spread at home, and just 3-7 against the spread last 10. So I think the importance of Jared Jackson Jr. I talked about this earlier when I was on Let's Cap with Ronald Cobain. The defensive rating for Memphis dropped. It increases about five is what it increases with Jared Jackson Jr. on the floor. So the defensive rating without him is a 112.8, so pretty much 113. But with him on the floor, it drops to 107.8. So by about a 108. So the defense plays a lot better when he's on the floor. And I like Denver in this spot because they are the better defense. I'm sorry, I like Memphis in this spot because they are the better defensive team. You look at Denver, they are 3rd ranked offensively last 2 weeks, but they're really just looking to kind of outscore you. Memphis, they're 5th ranked offensively last 2 weeks. But like I said, defensively, Memphis is ranked 1st. And defensively, Denver is only ranked 21st. I think John Morant gives them a lot of problems today. His ability to be able to get into the lane. They don't have rim protector at all. If they put DeAndre Jordan out there, it really turns into barbecue chicken. So I think, it's a back and forth game, but I see Memphis having, the better defense in this one. I also see this game, and I played Memphis. I played them on the money line. It was early this morning when I did the ChrisBeCappinn, the NBA, the Cash It with Chris show. I went ahead and took the money line when I gave it out. And right now, like I said, it's down to a pick. So a lot of people, probably not extremely confident on this one. I feel like it's a spot for Memphis in this one. Only way I'd be able to look is towards Memphis, the more rested team, the team that's not banged up. The team that's the better of the two teams in my estimation, especially injury wise, rest wise. Give me the Memphis Grizzlies on the money line in this spot. And I like that they're coming off a loss as well against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Couldn't talk anybody off Ja props. I do feel like he's going to have a big impact on this game. I couldn't talk anybody off a Memphis team total over. I do think that the game goes under because it was just a lot of stuff that I was looking at that pointed towards the under. I think, when you get two teams like this, typically the books inflate the total just a tad bit because people don't like playing unders. It makes sense. Same thing kind of happened yesterday. I was 0-1 yesterday on official plays because I did give out the New Orleans Pelicans and the Milwaukee Bucks under. That game went over by 9 points because we didn't see a lot of defense being played. I feel like Memphis brings it on the defensive end. And if anything, I think Denver brings it on the defensive end, or at least tries to as well. So I think Denver understands that they've probably met their match as far as trying to outscore teams because Memphis can score with the best of them. And if they're going to win the game, it's because they're at least attempting to sit down, and play defense and keep guys in front of them. So that's what I like today. I like the Memphis Grizzlies on the money line. Also really like the under. I like the Jazz on the money line, but I didn't play that one. I also like the over in that game, even though the total's dropping. I like the over 229.5. Mike Conley assists, probably my favorite player prop that I've looked at so far. I am going to look at Bill and Kuzma if Porzingis is out. Excuse me. Jalen Durham rebounds over 10.5 as well. And Grizzlies early. We talked about this one on Let's Cap earlier as well. Grizzlies team total in the first quarter, I think, is 29.5. To me, that seems obtainable. Grizzlies on the first quarter money line also feels like it's the right play. And Tyler Hero, I just talked about his PRA over with Jimmy Butler being downgraded to doubtful, and all that's happening over the course of the last hour. Honestly, he went from being probable to being listed as questionable to now being listed as doubtful. So he's probably not going to play. We know how much Spoelstra and Pat Riley like to manipulate the injury report down there in Miami. So wouldn't surprise me if he did play. Maybe you wait to the last minute, try to get that in, but the books probably are, trying to adjust that line as much as possible. So that's what I got for you guys. Let me know what you guys are on. Send me requests if you guys have anything it is that you want to share. And I'm going to go through some of these YouTube comments while we do that. Chris, I'm building a parlay on his live. Let's get it. Okay. What up, Nesbet? Vaughn said, I'm taking Pistons plus 2.5 on FanDuel. Okay. I didn't play the game. I like the Jazz on the money line though. This slate is dog water. Don't force nothing today. A lot of better spots tomorrow. That's a fact, Zachariah. Definitely don't force anything today. Mike Conley going over on points. Okay. Jazz on a back-to-back plus is part revenge game for Bogdanovich. Okay, I can see it. The Jazz are also in a revenge game because the Pistons came to Utah couple weeks ago and beat them outright, and they were catching 11 in that spot. So just another angle to kind of look at the game. Euphoria said he's on the Utah money line and Conley over 6.5 assists at plus 151. I can see that. I like that look a lot. Jordan Clarkson, drive heavy guards and pick and roll guards are a terror for the Pistons. I can see it. They're not playing any defense. Clarkson doing damage in the paint as well. Conley is on a luck on points, and I think it's supposed to say a lock on points and assists. I'm definitely on the Jazz Pistons over. Thug and D said that. Last time I took Durham double plus 550, he had 19 points and 7 rebounds. That sucks. Nets said, Knicks first half, a popular play today. I'm feeling it too. Poole is going under. Okay. We got some sharp looks in here. What up, Fremont? Fremont said he on the Bulls and the Pistons. Euphoria said got the Bulls money line on a parlay. Okay. I'm not parlaying that in today. Butler is out apparently because he ate crickets in Mexico and it gave him bubble guts. Oh man. All right, cool. Let me get out the chat, man. If y'all got plays that y'all want to share, man, send me a request, like I said. And I'll try to get you guys up. Josh said he loves Dylan Brooks under his 19 and a half points. Anytime he goes over his points, he goes under the next 2 games. That's an interesting look, too. Okay. I'm stuck between Ja Morant, Ja points, Ja assists, and Ja PRA. You got to figure out which one you like the most, Patrick. I think he influences the game. So looking at his PRA, Ja is also one of the better rebounding guards in the league. So, looking at his PRA, probably not a bad look. Also, keeping in mind, this is a TNT game, right? So Charles Barkley did just come out a couple weeks ago, the last time the Memphis Grizzlies played on TNT, and said that Ja Morant doesn't make his teammates better. So Ja could go out here and try to look the dish and get his I think he's at 8.5 assists. Could look to try to get double digit assists, and it might be a double game for Ja as well. So best of luck to you on whatever you take, Patrick. I'm probably gonna stay off of Ja PRA, probably his points as well, but I couldn't talk anybody off his points. Let me get Cash up here, and let me get Vaughn up here as well. Cash, can you hear me? Hey, Cash, can you hear me? Nah, you must not be connected. Jimmy Butler just got ruled out. Trended exactly like we thought it would. Tyler Hero PRA gonna be 100,000. I'm trying to get this play in. Let's see. I'm trying to do this live. Cash, can you hear me? I don't know if you ever got connected. Probably not. Vaughn, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, bro. You hear me good?
Yeah, you good. What's up, Vaughn?
What's good, bro? I ain't on a whole lot, man. I got yesterday I think I went like 4-2 on official plays or some shit until they took Giannis' rebound away. He went from 11 back down to 10.5. Checked FanDuel last night to shit cash. Got up this morning, they took the bread away. I was a little sad about that one.
Hey, but that happened to me a couple times.
Yeah, man. So I'm not on. I didn't look at this Memphis. I didn't look much into the Memphis game at all. Phoenix been playing with the injury report a little bit. So only thing I'm on officially already is Jalen Duren rebounds at 10.5. I played Walker Kessler rebounds. I see him getting a little bit more minutes last night. He ain't played much because they needed a little bit more scoring. I played his rebounds at 7.5 and 10. And I put a 2-leg parlay together. I'm starting to like these. I cashed the one yesterday with Sabonis and Fox. I found another one. I got Bradley Beal at 20 points and Mikal Bridges at 2 3 for minus 111. I had some analysis behind it. I think I lost the shit. But I think Bradley Beal hit 20 points in like his last 9 games. Hold on. Bradley Beal, 20 points in 12 or 13. Of course, he done missed some of those. That goes back quite a while because he's been in and out with COVID. Phoenix allowing 10th most points to the shooting guard position. Bridges 2 threes and hit in 9 of his last 10 games. Wizards struggle. Give up the 4th most threes to the small forward position. Minus 111. There's a couple of places if you put those two together, you get them for plus money, like DraftKings, shit like that. So that's all I'm on today. Just a lane to Memphis first quarter, and DeRozan points. I like Conley assists, but I'm not gonna play it. I watched the interview a couple of weeks ago where their coach Will Hardy was like he don't like playing Markkanen and Mike Conley as many minutes on the second leg of back-to-backs. So I'm gonna stay away from Conley assists. I don't know. I just didn't want to get too many plays into it. So again, official on Duren rebounds, Kessler Edward rebounds, Bradley Beal 20, and Mikal Bridges 2 threes, and I got that for minus 111. I think I'm gonna get there with DeRozan points, but that's gonna be it for me.
Okay.
I don't think I'm gonna get there with that Memphis first quarter. I haven't been able to cap it as much as I would like to, honestly.
Got you. Okay, so it sounds like 4 officials from you, Vaughn. Some good looks, bro. Some good looks. Okay. Hope you cash them. We got a big slate tomorrow, so no need of forcing nothing tonight. It'll come tomorrow for sure.
Yes, sir.
Bookie, what's going on, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up? How are you doing, Chris?
I'm good, bro. How you?
I'm actually a little pissed off, man. Did a long ass write up on Jimmy Butler, man. I thought probable. I had my hopes up. I woke up this morning, saw that he only had 3 players questionable. I was like, this must be crazy.
Right.
But anyways, looking in that game, I'm honestly gonna pivot over to Bam. In 2 games over the last 2 seasons without Butler and Lowry, he's had 5 and 6 assists. A lot of his assists are coming from handoffs to Hero and Strus. So I actually really like Hero today too, Strus too. Chicago's allowing the 4th highest field goal percentage and score frequency off handoffs, along with the 8th most field goal attempts. Chicago's also been playing very bad recently. 5th worst defensive rating over the last 7 games. They're allowing the 3rd most 3-point attempts and 8th highest 3-point percentage over the last 12 games. I just think, with not a lot of people, especially with Gabe Vincent out too, not a lot of people to necessarily handle the ball. I know Hero can, obviously, but that's going to be mainly pick and rolls looking to score. I think when Bam does get the ball in the high post, he's going to have a lot of looks for those handoffs. So I really like that. His assist, I don't think the line's opened up yet, but whatever it's at, I'll take a look. And then I also got, you can play this however you want. I'll just give the stats out. I personally did a little 0.5 unit on this 3 legs. Brunson, 2+ rebounds, 20+ points. New York, +3.5. Whether you want to place points or rebounds, I like all of it. But 20+ in 17 of 30 games this season, averaging 20 points on 15.8 field goal attempts. 8 to 12 point guards shooting 14+ field goal attempts versus Golden State have scored 20+ points. Brunson scoring a decent chunk of his points from the line, 21.3% of his points from the free throw. Golden State gives up the most free throw attempts per game on the season. Brunson shooting 51% of his field goal attempts from less than 5 feet and 5 to 9 feet within the 5 feet ranges. Over the last 12 games, Golden State allowing the most field goal attempts and highest field goal percentage from 5 to 9 feet. That's that floater in mid-range that Brunson loves to get to. They allow the least field goal attempts less than 5 feet. They're really good at cutting off lanes and just preventing people from getting to the paint. But when players do get there, they're shooting the 7th highest field goal percentage. He has 2+ rebounds in 24 of 30 games, averaging 3.2 on 5.9 rebound chances. Golden State allowing the 5th most rebounds per 48 minutes to point guards over the last 30. New York allowing the 7th highest 3-point frequency to opponents, and Golden State has the 3rd highest 3-point frequency. So more Golden State threes is going to mean more rebound chances for Brunson's 9.3 feet rebound distance, which is the longest in the rotation. And then I also like Jordan Clarkson tonight. I was actually on his under 23.5 last night, and I thankfully won that on the hook. I had 2 units on that. And even against a very tough defense in Cleveland, he had a very good game. And against Detroit, it's just a great matchup. I think they're allowing the 5th most points per game to shooting guards over the last 30 days. And when I looked at StatViews, shooting guards versus Detroit with 16+ field goal attempts this season, he's averaging 18.5 in December, I think. 12 of 13 guards actually hit over 21.5 points, which I think his line's at. So, especially getting blown out last night, being their main scorer. And I know you said you like Conley assists, so, someone needs to score the ball. So I really like Clarkson to get some buckets tonight. That's what I'm on tonight.
Okay. Solid analysis, Bookie. Solid for sure. Absolutely. Hope you cash it, bro. Let me see if I can get Bookie's Bandit up. See if Bandit got something he want to share with us. What's up, Bandit? How you doing? I don't think he got connected. Let me try to get Cash up again. Cash, can you hear me? I don't think it's letting you connect either. Yeah, connection might not be strong enough. Julio, can you hear me? Nobody got strong enough connection. Just Vaughn and Bookie today. Whatever.
Hey, while we waiting on a couple people to get brought up, question for you. Any players you see getting traded that can make a real difference? I'll say over the next 2 weeks to 30 days or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Chicago Bulls. We just talked about the dysfunction there, Vaughn. They could, that could change everything, man. They could shake up everything. I think, they could pivot. I wasn't high on the Bulls this year, just because I felt like a lot of teams in the East got better, and I thought that with Lonzo missing so much time last year, it was going to be it's going to take a while to kind of get him reacclimated, and I think that was true. I don't think anybody anticipated him being out for as long as he has been out, and I read some stuff. I think it was yesterday, or might have been on Sunday, about him not even running again until close to about February. So I'm not sure if he had to grow a new leg or what, but whatever happened with him, it set him back a really, really long time. And it's unfortunate because Lonzo was drafted to my Lakers, and I like Lonzo as a player. I really, really like him. I thought what he was doing was helping the team, but just in general, I still think he still young enough to come back and get back into the swing of things. But I just feel like with that injury and him probably not having a significant impact, and just the Bulls, the way they've started the season off with the lack of consistency that they've been able to play with, specifically on the defensive end. I think it's some turmoil there with the coach as well. I look for the Bulls to kind of get rid of somebody and probably start the the tanking process to join San Antonio and Detroit and Houston and some of these other teams that know that they're not going to make the playoffs or even make it to the play-in game.
Agree. I seen some a couple of days ago on TikTok about the Raptors being in a bad spot. I think Van Fleet contract is up after this year. Siakam contract is up after next year. And they was talking about for OG, they can get a Donovan Mitchell-like package. And with the way Toronto is, they're going to have to get something, via trade as opposed to drafting and shit like that. So just interested to see how shit go.
Yeah, we know the Raptors don't mind making moves, man. Yeah, they'll definitely do it. They'll do it quick too, and it could be a blockbuster move. Speaking of the Raptors, I got Legacy in the building. What up, Legacy? Can you hear me?
Yo, what's good, bro?
How you doing, man?
Man, y'all talk about my Raptors. I ain't doing too good. It's all good, man. We'll find a way to get out of this losing streak, but I mean, who knows what's going to happen as far as with our core guys, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Masai Ujiri, he'll pull the trigger for sure if he feels like something's not working. But what's up, Rap? What you on today, bro? You got something?
Today, I mean, I actually have a couple leans, as far as with the Wizards and the Suns game, but I'm not sure. Have they said anything about DeAndre Ayton at all?
I haven't seen anything about Ayton. Nothing about Ayton that I feel like I didn't miss anything. Did I, Vaughn, Bookie? Y'all see anything about Ayton?
Nah, nothing about Ayton official.
Okay. Well, then that makes me like it a little better. The only things I had as far as an official was, I would be agreeing with Vaughn, is probably Mikal Bridges' points. But also, on top of that, I really, really like Bradley Beal's points today. If anything, I'm playing both of their points straight, but I did have a small parlay that I wanted to put together. It was just their points together, and then sprinkled on Mikal Bridges' 2 threes as well, because I mean he's been pretty consistent with it. And on top of that, the Wizards give up the 4th most threes to the small forward position, so it's kind of hard to overlook in my case. And then on top of that, Devin Booker is out, so I mean somebody got to score the points. But as far as Bradley Beal goes, Porzingis, I think Porzingis is out, is he not?
He hasn't officially been ruled out yet. He was he didn't go through shoot around though, so it's typically not a good sign. But that is the late game tonight,
Okay, perfect. I might have to wait then.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think I was gonna wait and see, what came about for that game, and then probably put something together because I do think that's a player prop game, you know?
Right, exactly what I was thinking. Okay, well, I'll wait on that. But I mean, just for the meantime, Mikal Bridges points, Bradley Beal's points, and Mikal Bridges threes. I like all those. Bradley Beal is sitting at 23.5. Sweet spot for me. Mikal Bridges at 19.5. I feel like he crushes that. And obviously, like I said, the 2 threes, that's cash money. I've been riding on the 2 threes for a while from him. So I really like all 3 of those. Right now, I got just their points parlayed together at plus 250 on FanDuel. So I think I might rock with that. But I'm going to wait on that Porzingis news first.
Okay. What's up, Bookie? Best of luck, Lacey.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. What up, Bookie?
I'm looking at the Golden State game, and you said DiVincenzo's out, right?
Yeah, he's out with an illness, I think it is.
Even with him out, I think in 2 of the games Steph was out, he scored 15 and 17. Do Jordan Poole and do you just have to pick between Poole and Thompson here? Do you think? And who do you lean to maybe? Because I'm looking at this game, I want to play something.
I think I would have to be looking towards Poole because if you take Jordan Poole out of the offense, right, and he's not the primary ball handler, which we've seen Draymond run like the point forward position, a lot. But if they're not running that traditional offense, well, if that is their traditional offense to run, kind of, I think it makes it easier for Jordan Poole to catch the ball in spots where he can isolate and score more versus him trying to walk it up and then initiate the offense itself. But I still expect him to be the primary ball handler in this spot. So him and Draymond kind of sharing that role. But who else can create their own shot on the floor besides Jordan Poole in that lineup?
Draymond had 20 points, or what was it, 18 points last game? Put some respect on his name, man. Come on.
Yeah, but 3 of those bookies are threes in the corner at the beginning of the game. Shout out to Draymond, but
yeah, no, I definitely agree. I might even if they even ever release the lines up until 2 seconds before the game, maybe look at like a Kuminga if his line's 9.5 or something like that.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You got to look at Kuminga in a spot like this. Offense is going to come at a premium, I think, for Golden State tonight. So couldn't talk you off of just kind of waiting and seeing what lines you get for some of those role players. Kuminga being a good one to target for sure. Big Meech, what's going on, my guy? How you doing?
Hey, what up, Chris? How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. What's going on? What you got for us?
So this kind of correlates with what you were just talking about. Poole being primary ball handler, not having too many offensive options in Golden State tonight. I took Poole over his 3.5 turnovers. I got that around even money. I got it at plus 105 this morning. I think it's around minus 105 now. He's hit this line in all 5 games without Curry this year. He's gone. He's gone 4, 4, 6, 4, and 5. 5 games without Curry. Golden State's leading the league in turnovers this year. They're second in turnovers per game this year. They're leading the league in turnovers over their last 3 with 19. Knicks are 4th in the association, 9 steals over the last 3 games. And they're also ranked 1st in defensive efficiency over the last 10 and over the last 2 weeks. So, like we said, looks like Poole's going to be the primary ball handler, primary distributor, primary scorer. Looking to have him have the ball in his hands tonight and looking for the Knicks to try and shut him down. I'm looking for him to turn over the ball over 3 times tonight for plus money.
Okay. I like that's solid for sure, Mitch. We did just get Anthony Slater, one of the beat writers for the Golden State Warriors, did just put out the starting lineup. So it's going to be Poole, Moody, Clay, Draymond, and Looney. So regular starters with minus Wiggins and minus Steph. I mean, I know that's a lot to not have, but they still do got 3 of the other starters in the game.
Moody might be a sneaky look there.
He could be. It'll be interesting to see if we get lines for him or not.
Yeah, if he gets a 5.5 or a 6.5 line, that's what, 4 layups, 4 dunks, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody gonna have to score. So definitely some value there on the Golden State side. If I'm being honest, I haven't even looked at the props. I do like Poole though. I know it's not contrarian at all, but sometimes the public cashes and you could take them down a few points too, and just parlay them with something else. So couldn't talk anybody off of that look either. I want to kick it to Dream real quick. Dream been on a tear, so definitely want to hear what Dream got to say. What up, Dream?
What's the vibes, man? I had to pop in here, man. I'm at my niece's middle school basketball game.
She getting buckets? Did you bet on her, Dream, or not?
Yo, honestly, bro, I just know I gotta be ready for when I have kids because this coach upset me. My niece is clearly the best, tallest, most athletic player on the team, and he ain't played the whole second quarter. And I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna watch the game.
Oh, they tanking, Dream. They tanking. His spread probably was 8.5.
Cause they down 20 to 4 at halftime. I'm like, bro.
Oh yeah, he got some money on the other side, Dream. That's all. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, man, but, appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep it up. So I posted 2 of these plays last night on the timeline, like 1 a.m. The lines just look funny to me. Ja 44.5 PRA. Motivation behind that, Jokic, he's really not much of a rim protector. And Ja, this last game, he got kicked out on some funny stuff in OKC. Plus, they lost last game in OKC. And it's a game on television, so Ja tends to show out on TV. So I sprinkled his triple-double. I got it at plus 800 at Resorts World. But I love his PRA, 44.5. Bradley Beal, last night I got him at 21.5. He's at 23.5 now. I'd still play it. I thought I heard somebody else talk about Brad. So
that joint is not 23.5 anymore, Jay. They locked that joint up so quick. So as you was talking, Porzingis just got ruled out. That joint's probably about to be 25 on that.
Oh God. Okay, well that shouldn't be an official, but I did bet it 21.5 at midnight. If y'all follow me, y'all seen that.
Yep.
And what I just put in is Durnin. His points and rebounds, I got it at DraftKings over 18.5. It's 19.5 at FanDuel. I like that. And I even like his points at 7.5, man. It's no secret. The Jazz, they struggle against interior players, centers, stuff like that. You seen what Jared Allen just did last night. Duran isn't no Jared Allen, but he's a great rebounder. I can see him getting putbacks. I can see him getting easy spoon feeds from Killian Hayes. So I love his 7.5. I even got a couple parties I'm gonna post where I got his over points like 11.5. That's the highest they'll let you go, and it's like plus 290 or plus 220. So his double is plus 220 if you just want to do that. But I love Durnin tonight. As long as he don't get in foul trouble, I love his points and rebounds tonight. So those are my 3 plays.
Nice little, yeah. That's a good spot. That's a really, really good spot. Like you said, it goes beyond just having like Dream at the game for real. They just
my fault, man.
No, you.
Yeah, man, my fault, man.
I thought that was coming from inside my house. It was so loud. Nah, it's all good, Dream. It's all good, bro. I was about to have to run outside, bro. I thought that was coming from in here. I thought the fire alarm was going off. Nah, you definitely at a high school basketball game, bro. I remember that noise. But nah, Dream, I like that, bro. Like you said, not just looking at what Jared Allen was able to do last night, but you think about Zion and what Zion was able to do in back-to-back games against this same front court. And also, the other side of it is that they're the more rested team. This Jazz team is on the 3rd game in 4 nights and back-to-back with travel as well from Cleveland last night. So Durham is a high energy guy. He typically gets his points and rebounds because of his energy, and it's propelled him to be into the starting lineup. So I like the looks a lot, especially that Durham one, Dream. Bill, like I said, that's gone. If you wanted Bill, you should have hopped on him. Like you said last night at 21.5, he went up to 23.5. Now he probably opened back up at probably 25.5 if I had to guess, 24, 25.5. But solid looks as always, Dream. Hope you cash those, my guy. Let me kick it to Finesse. What's going on, Finesse? And then Monotone, I'm coming to you.
Yeah, I think Monotone will win. He go first.
Okay. What up, Monotone?
Nothing much, man. We got a good slate today. Sometimes Tuesdays can be a little bit disappointing, but yesterday we had that Fultz 4 assists and 1 steal little same game parlay. I thought that was good value, and I've got another DraftKings same game parlay today. It's just another simple 2-leg right here, and I'm back to the first quarter market. I'm going Quentin Grimes, 1 first quarter rebound, and I paired that up with Draymond Green, 5 assists. I think Grimes' 1 first quarter rebound is one of the better values I've seen so far this season. since he's been instilled to the starting lineup. He's hit this in every single game. But the biggest thing right here is he's playing 10 minutes in every single first quarter, which for those of you that don't know is very, very good usage. There's only a couple guys we really see consistently get in that 10 minutes in the first quarter, and he's gotten it every game except one. He only played 7 minutes because he got 2 quick fouls, but he still got a rebound in that game. So it's just been good to see he's smashing this number. Like I said, 1 first quarter rebound in like all 11 games since he's been inserted into the lineup. I paired that up with a couple things. My favorite is probably Draymond. 5 assists right here. He's coming off a 16 potential assist game against the Raptors yesterday. And they really, when you think about it, right, I mean, they really only have him and Poole for playmaking. We know Poole's more of a shooter than a playmaker. I think Draymond will surely get his passes and assists in. I mean, we obviously don't need 16 potential assists, but just, 10, 11, 12 should get the job done right here. So that's probably my favorite combo right there. And then I put this one out before the Porzingis news, but I had Beal 20 points and Jaden Ivey at 12 points in the same game parlay at -110. I think Ivey's in a good spot. Obviously, we know he's one of those guards that can get in the paint pretty well, and we know the Jazz are very, very weak in the paint. The Jazz also give up the most made free throws per game so far this season, and guess what? When we look at Ivey's spike performances, they always come with high free throw numbers. He's surprisingly good at getting to the line. So I do like a sprinkle on Ivy 20-plus points as well. I like getting that at plus money. But I paired that with Beal 20 points. I don't know if the odds are going to be as good anymore without Porzingis, but here's a pro tip, guys. If a guy doesn't go through shoot around, he's probably not going to play. That is the vast majority of times when a guy does not go through, especially when they're a midday addition to the injury report. It was fairly clear that Porzingis wasn't going to suit up today, so I took advantage of that a little bit early, but you still should be able to get that at pretty solid odds even when they put it back up.
Yeah. Really good tip there, Monotone, for sure. Very interesting. We talk about it all the time. I touch on it from time to time. When these guys go, when they're getting downgraded to anything that's not probable, then it's typically not a great sign at all, especially the later it goes in throughout the day as well. So sometimes the manipulation can be wrong, but most of the time it does go in that favor. So like that look, Brent Grimes 1 first quarter rebound with Draymond over 4.5 assists for the game, coming off, like you said, 16 potential assists. Like that look a lot, Monotone. Yeah, like that a lot. Let me kick it to Finesse now, and then Ben, I'm gonna come to you.
What's good, right? You doing?
I'm good, Finesse. What's going on, bro?
Chilling, bro. Chilling. I'll keep it quick. I forgot. I think it was Dream who mentioned it. Took the words right out of my mouth. I see a lot of people are on Durant's rebound solo, so I wanted to kind of pivot in a different direction. Just like him, I took the PR at 18.5. You're getting a slight discount with the rebounds being 10.5, his points being 8.5. So you're getting that 1 PR discount. So I really like that. Chris, you mentioned they're on a back-to-back. They've gotten better against centers as of late, slightly better, but still for the year, they're allowing top 5 points, top 5 rebounds to the center position. So I love Durant. Should be against tired legs. No Olynyk, you do have Kessler in the paint, which is a bigger body, a better defender, but I still like Durant. He's a beast. Also like Bohan in that game. I believe his regular line is 21.5. Don't mind taking it up if you want to do that, or 20 plus and pair it with something. But I love that. I love him tonight. Who else? I like Hero, obviously, with the injuries. No Lowry, no Butler. Every time I bet on Hero, something happens. I'm ready to be hurt again, though. I think he's going to jack up 8 to 10 threes. So I really like his 4+ at plus money. I love that. Knicks first half. I haven't bet a first half in a while. And I can't believe it's the Knicks, but I like Knicks first half. Just complete fade of the Warriors, obviously with their injuries and their road performances. And the Knicks have been a wagon in the first half, especially at home. So I believe they're 10-3 last 13 first halves at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the Knicks -2.5 in the first half. What else? I was actually looking at Kevon Looney under his PRA. Just a lean right now. Don't really want to take too many unders right now, especially on a small slate. Yeah, I mean, that's really it. Heavy on Durant tonight. I'll be on Bohan tonight. Heavy on Knicks first half. Definitely sprinkling a hero 4+ threes for plus money. Yeah, that's it for now.
Okay. Yeah. I hadn't thought about that one finesse. I was on Anthony Edwards threes the other night. I laddered him personal play. I laddered his threes the other night and he finished at 4. So he didn't hit the 4.5, but just thinking about how bad the Bulls are, first thing that should jump out at you is how bad their 3-point defense is, because this was the same game that D'Angelo Russell also hit 7 threes. So they just give it up. For some reason, they just don't defend the 3-point line well at all, almost like the Bucks did last year. So love the look on Hero over 3.5 threes in that game, especially in a game where he's gonna have to be the primary offense. So he definitely gonna jack him up too. Being back at the crib, I can see it. I like that look a lot.
And you just shared it up top too. The drama, whatever's happening in Chicago right now, is the perfect time to fade him. Whoever you like on the East side, perfect time to fade him. I think when the team's in disarray, just from personal experience, I don't have any numbers, but the defense really seems to lag. So a defense that's already struggling, now they got this drama going on. I think it's a perfect time to just fade the shit out of them in any possible way.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact. I also, I think looking at Strus threes, he's a guy that typically fills it up, specifically at home. No Gabe Vincent in this one. I think Martin was also ruled out. So, they're gonna be looking for guys to score. And typically they score, they're a team that facilitates the ball pretty well, and they're looking for their shooters to knock down some shots. So I like Strus to go over his threes as well. Line probably at 2.5. It's typically at 2.5, and it's typically juice too. So I'll look at Strus as well. What's up, Bookie?
Yeah, I just want to talk about that too, because I was talking about the Bam, how he loves doing those handoffs up top for those guys to get those 3-pointers. And Bam's line is actually 3.5 at -133 on Fox. If anyone wants to grab that, it's -165 most other places.
3.5 assists?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had 5 and 6 in 2 games, small sample size, without Lowry and Butler over the last 2 seasons. And that was against a tough Boston defense and Brooklyn defense that was probably not that great at the time. But regardless, I just built out over 4.5 assists, 3+ Hero 3-pointers, and 3+ Strus 3-pointers is plus 550 on DK. Built out other places, it's only around plus 480. So big discrepancy between books. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. Nah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Always, line shop. Check your books, man. Always check your books. Always talk about that as well. Haven't talked about it as much this year, but have multiple books if you guys can. Definitely, line shop. Get the best line. Patrick said, is that first half or first half -3.5? So I think Finesse was talking about the Knicks first half -2.5 is what he said. Depending on the book, it might be at 3.5 for some books now. But I know Finesse not taking a money line. That's probably like -165. So I would say first half spread, taking the Knicks in the first half spread. That 10-3, I think, is what they are on the first half spread at home. They're also 5-0 against the spread first half in their last 5 home games as well. So I think Finesse was talking about the spread in that one. But Ben, I know you've been waiting for a minute, so I want to kick it to you, and then Parlay, I'm gonna come to you as well. What's up, Ben?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How about yourself?
We started off last night pretty good, finished just okay, right? Trey Jones barely played the rest of the game. I ended up taking that one, and Banchero just decided not to do anything in the fourth quarter, right? So
absolutely.
Who would have seen the Magic scoring 120 plus and Banchero not scoring 20 points?
Right. And then the worst part, Ben, I was watching the game, especially the fourth quarter. It wasn't like he was 6 for 27, 6 for 21. He just didn't shoot the ball. Like still shot 50% from the field, just stopped shooting.
And then Jalen Green just decides to forget how to score points.
Right.
Second half against the worst defense in the league.
Yeah, it's like that sometimes, man.
I like all those plays. I play him again. I'm not that mad about it.
Absolutely.
I got a couple interesting looks today. I'm with everybody on Hero. Hero's averaging 10 3-point attempts this month and making 4.9 per game this month. So I'm all in on that. Strus, without Jimmy Butler, is averaging north of 3 threes per game, and we get an extremely plus matchup today. He's averaging like 9+ attempts without Jimmy Butler. And we also have no Martin, no Lowry, right? So I would expect him to get double-digit attempts. Just to speak on that a little more, I think the reason the Bulls are bad at defending the 3 is the same reason that the Bucks were bad at defending the 3 last year. Brook Lopez missed a lot of time last year. So the Bucks had no interior shot blocker. Like, I know Bobby Portis is fine, but he's not like a true shot blocker, right? So, like, Vucevic, same thing. Like, he's a big body, but he ain't like a defender. So they kind of not got a sag, but they can't do like the whole Cavs model where they really push you up the 3-point line and funnel you inside to Allen and Mobley. That was just my thought on that. My interesting play of the night is I'm kind of on Nikola Jokic's threes. I know that sounds kind of crazy. You can pick over half a three with any kind of minus odds prop that you like. I paired it with Randall over 1.5 threes and Strus over 1.5 threes individually. But in 8 of the last 9 games, Jokic has made 2+ threes against Steven Adams. In 8 of the last 9, he's hit 2 or more. In all 9, he's hit a 3 against Steven Adams. This is the worst that Memphis has ever defended the 3 on the road, at least as far back as I can go in data. I believe they're number 1 in the NBA in most threes made on the road this season. Like road 3-point defense. Sorry. I also put a half unit on Nikola Jokic to make 2+ threes at plus 290. Again, he's hit 2+ threes in 9 of his last 13 against Steven Adams and 7 or like 8 of the last 9. 7 of the last 8 or 8 of the last 9 against Steven Adams. So, I really dug deep into these kind of big man matchups just because we always know who's starting who. That's just one that I think the data is too good to at least completely ignore. I put a half unit on Nikola Jokic triple-double. Since November 1st, in games where he's playing 30+ minutes, he's averaging 13 rebounds and 10 assists. And the one thing that I think we know that the Grizzlies are going to try to take advantage of is, the amount of size and interior presence that you have when he's on the inside. So I'm sure that Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to collapse down in him a little bit to help Clark and Adams, which probably feeds into him recording some more assists, especially with how bad Memphis' 3-point defense is. Trying to think if there was anything else. Oh, and then I'm also on Ja's points that game. I opted for his points rather than his PRA, just because he's averaging a few less assists per game on the road than he is at home. And quite frankly, like we've kind of just been talking about here for a couple weeks now, Jamal Murray is food on defense. So I would love to see Jamal Murray in. Regardless of who defends him, I don't think Bones Highland is shutting Morant down. We've talked about the motivation, right? He's averaging 31.1 points per game on the road this year when he plays 30+ minutes. So basically taking the ejection game out, right? And when you look at Denver, they're in the bottom third in the league in points allowed in the paint, which is obviously Morant's forte. And Denver's allowing the second most points per game to point guards the last 15 games. So that was my biggest play of the day, was Morant over 20.5.
Morant over 28.5. Okay. Yeah, that's a solid look tonight. I do think that this just seems like a Ja Morant type game too. Pretty. Denver doesn't play at a fast pace, but they do score a lot of points. And I think we know what Memphis does. We know what pace they want to get out and play at. Not a lot of rim protection against for the Denver Nuggets either. So could not talk you off of that at all, Ben. Could not talk you off of that at all. Parlay Poppy, you want to kick it to you real quick? What's up, my guy? How you doing?
I'm pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good?
All right. I got 3 plays. I know everybody is on Duran's 10.5 rebounds. I kind of pivoted off just a little bit and took his double-double just because of the value instead. I put a half unit. I think it was plus 240.
Okay.
We know Utah giving up rebounds to the big, but they also giving up points. I forgot who it was, but they said Jared Allen. We see how he cooked Utah. So his line at 8.5, he can go out there and get another bucket. That should be a good cash. I'm on Zach LaVine's threes. Miami give up the threes, especially to the guard position. Zach LaVine, he take a plethora of threes. His line at 2.5. I laddered it up to 5. I put 1.3 units on the 2.5 because it was minus 130, and then I split up a half a unit between 4 and 5. 4 was at, I want to say 200, and 5 was plus 450 when I was looking at it. Yeah, plus 450.
Okay.
And then lastly, I had a little 2-leg parlay. Took Bogan at 18.5, over 18.5, and DeMar DeRozan over 23.5. Got plus 106. Just a quick double up. Bogan going against his old team. I feel like, again, he should feast. And then DeMar DeRozan, he go out there any given night, go get 24 points. So.
Okay. Okay.
Those are 3 looks I had. That's it.
Solid. Yeah, them solid. They definitely solid. The Durham double-double, Levine over 2.5 threes is something that I feel like, nobody's really on Levine today just because of how much turmoil they do have. But yeah, the Miami Heat defense is day and night between home and road. So could definitely see it being the 3-point shootout down there in Miami tonight. So I couldn't talk anybody off Zach LaVine threes either.
Especially with Martin being out, Martin Lowry and Butler. So
yeah,
Martin's a good perimeter defender. So.
Yeah. Miami's defense has struggled specifically at home, so could definitely see that one as well. Best of luck to you, bro. I hope you cash all on.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I think that's it, man. I think that's it. We still don't. I mean, we're still waiting on some injury news. Yeah, we are kind of still waiting on some kind of injury news. We got, I like to make sure I mention these on Tuesday and Thursdays. We don't have to force, too much action. I know a lot of people come into the space. They may have not had a chance to, cap the games, or maybe they just don't cap the games and they just listen to the show or listen to other shows. And then you come in here and you hear a lot of stuff that you like, or, a lot of things that you're kind of leaning towards. And it can be difficult to kind of go through those things and separate, what you love from what you like, and which in my estimation is the difference between the lean and an actual official play, right? If it's an official play, it's something that you absolutely love and you can sleep whether that play wins or loses, right? Because you've done enough research, or you feel confident enough backing that play. And a lean is more so like I can see this hidden, and if it doesn't, then I'm totally fine with that. But if it does, I'm cool with not getting the money off of it either, because of my plays that I do like, I don't like this one as much, right? That's how you separate the two. And you don't typically want to, have too many units out, on a very, very small slate, unless you feel really, really confident that you found some kind of edge. I think everybody up here would actually agree with that sentiment, as far as, trying to bet smart and looking at this as a long-term thing, not just, some kind of get rich scheme overnight. So official for me. Like I said, I played the Memphis Grizzlies on the money line. Really like that look a lot. Got it at minus 120, but it's a lot better odds right now because I played it this morning. Also, really like the under in that game. I know the total's going up. I don't agree with the movement. I think Memphis plays a lot better defense with Jared Jackson Jr. being back in the lineup. And I was listening to the Denver Nuggets spaces earlier. If you follow the beat writers, or if you just go to the Denver Nuggets page, they had a spaces earlier. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but one of the beat writers was saying that Denver actually has the best clutch defense in the league. And I think they define clutch defense as defense in the last 5 minutes of the game when it's a 1 or 2 possession game. So Denver, what I take away from that is that Denver has the ability to play defense when it really comes down to it. I don't think that they stop in Ja Morant. It's going to be up to those other guys to be able to kind of step up and, make shots. The Dylan Brooks of the world, which we know he had a really good game because Ja Morant was throughout the last game. So, it's going to be on guys like him, guys like Jared Jackson Jr. to actually perform as well. Tyus Jones to come off the bench and, hit some shots as well. So really, really like I said, the Memphis Grizzlies, my top player the day today. Also really like the under in that game. Going back to the first game, I would lean towards the Jazz, taking them on the money line. I know it's conflicting. A lot of people on the opposite side. Not an official play for me, but I do think it's a winnable game for the Jazz after facing two really, really difficult opponents, being the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Milwaukee Bucks. So looking at the Jazz on the money line, also think that game goes over. Jazz third game in 4 nights. Typically, just want to get out and run. Typically, teams beat the Pistons by being able to score a lot of points. I think it's a bounce back spot for a guy like Malik Beasley, who only shot 1 for 3 last night from 3. We know the Pelicans, the Pistons, you can let that thing fly against them. So if you get lines from Malik Beasley, it's probably a bounce back spot for him. But my favorite player prop, I know everybody's on Durham tonight. I couldn't talk anybody off. Love the spot for him. But I think Mike Conley assists, man. I still think it's in play, even though it went from minus 120 to plus 118. Like I said, he's averaging right at 7.5. The Detroit is giving up 118 points, which is the second most at home over the course of the season. And Colin Sexton already had 12 this year. And I talked about the other guys who also already had 11. So I like Jazz on the money line. I like the over. I think it's 229.5 right now. I like Conley over the 7.5 assists. And I couldn't talk anybody off the Durham rebounds. It's rebounds plus points. I think Finesse mentioned that. Dream mentioned it as well. His double-double. Somebody mentioned that as well. Yeah, that's the way the Jazz give it up. Typically inside. They give up a lot of points inside. Moving along to the next game, which was the Warriors and the Knicks. Like I said, I think it's Poole or bust. If you don't think Poole is going to score, you kind of got to take the Knicks to blow the Warriors out. Because if Poole doesn't go for 30 to keep them in this game, I'm not sure how they score. So you either like Poole and you like the Knicks to kind of stay. You like the Warriors to stay close, or you don't like Poole and you think the Knicks blow them out. So that's where I would look in that game. Also, I think, like I said, if Draymond Green locks Julius Randle up, you do want to pivot off of Julius Randle and look towards Jalen Brunson points in this one. I think his points are definitely in play. And then, yeah, not really anything else in that one. If just so happen, I want to make sure I say this. If the Knicks revert back to their terrible 3-point defense, don't be surprised if Klay hits 5 threes. I'm gonna just say that and leave that right there. As far as the Bulls and the Heat go, we just got the injury news about that one. A lot of stuff going on in that game. Just do whatever makes you feel best in that game. I'm not touching the Bulls, but they are definitely the right side. I feel like now I was already thinking they were the right side with the Heat coming back home after a 4-game road trip and sweeping the 4-game road trip. The Bulls just kind of in turmoil. It's either going to make or break them, and win tonight would kind of at least alleviate some of the pressure and scrutiny that they're taking, recently. But with all the injuries, like I said, I'll be looking towards Tyler Hero. I think Bam's also a good pivot. Strus threes, also a good pivot as well. And then couldn't talk anybody off DeRozan as well. DeRozan should have a pretty good game. They don't have a defender that can guard him. Zach LaVine's iffy for me because sometimes he's extremely aggressive, sometimes he's not. So no real strong opinion on Zach LaVine. He can hit 3. I mean, he can hit 6 threes, or he could shoot 2. So not sure what I do there. Wizards and the Suns, I got to go through and kind of make sure we have all the stuff from the Suns perspective. I might tweet out a live play in this one, and tweet out a play. You'll probably be a player prop in this one after we get the injury report for the Suns. We do know the stuff about the Wizards, but we don't have all the full stuff on the Suns yet. I want to see if Aiden is in and if Chris Paul actually plays in this one. And I kind of just went over the Memphis Grizzlies game, man. Do me a favor if you guys can, like the tweet, like the show, retweet the show, like it on YouTube as well. Back tomorrow, 7 a.m. Big slate tomorrow. Lot better spots, I think. A lot better card tomorrow. So in the show with this, best of luck to you guys as always. None of this is financial advice, financial consultation. It's all theory, logic, query, trends, data, SDQL, eye test mixed in there as well, right? Heavy on the eye test. Bet with your head and not over it, man. Best of luck to you guys and all your action tonight. Until tomorrow at 7 a.m. Best of luck. I'm out. Oh, Conley assist at 6.5, Stoney? Yeah, I'm on there. Give me Conley assist at 6.5. I'm glad I didn't bet it yet. Like it a lot. Klein said, I think the Dubs going to win today. Ooh, so I know you got them on the plus 6.5, plus 5.5, or 6.5 if you think they're going to win today. You got to have them at that number. Shoot me a DM. I'll follow you. Shoot me a DM. Especially if you talk about sports. I follow a lot of people that talk about sports. Send me a DM on Twitter. I'll give you a follow. Conley assists sketchy. Good luck though. Yeah, they are sketchy, but I like the spot. JR. As long as the data supports it, I don't really care about anything else. I was just really more so making sure Conley was going to play. Like as long as Conley plays, because he is known to be rested on back-to-backs, and it's the third game in 4 nights. He only played 28 minutes last night. You give me 9 assists against the Cleveland Cavaliers, I definitely think he goes over, the 6.5 to 7.5. So yeah, I'm taking Conley over the 6.5 assists if I can get that number at 6.5 for sure. I'm probably gonna play it at 7.5 too, if I'm honest. So that's what I got for you guys. Appreciate y'all, man. Hit the like button for me if you guys can. I'm back in the morning. Like I said, 7 a.m. every single morning with Cashed It with Chris. I'm out.